Greetings of the day, dear scholars. Today, in this class, we will share Matthew Arnold's poem, Dover Beach. This is a very interesting and lengthy poem, and we shall share it in two parts. So please take note that right now we are discussing part 1 of the poem. First of all, let us talk about Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold was born on the 24th of December 1822. He studied at Rugby and later on he worked as a master at Rugby for some years. In 1851, he was made Inspector of Schools. He wrote many poems and many of them became very famous. As a poet of nature, Arnold is quite in semblance with William Wordsworth. He talks about the human values, nature, just the way William Wordsworth talks. Coming to part 1 of the poem, see the text. The sea is calm tonight, the tide is full, the moon lies fair upon the straits, on the French coast, the light gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand, glimmering and vast, out in the tranquil bay. Come to the window, sweet is the night air. Only from the long line of spray, where the sea meets the moon-blanched land. Listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles, which the waves draw back and fling at their return up the high strand, begin and cease and then again begin, with tremulous cadence slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. In the first part of the poem, we shall see how Matthew Arnold feels miserable, and the reason of his misery is that the sea is calm. Everything is calm and quiet. The tide is full. The fullness of the tide is symbolical of richness. The moon lies fair, and the moon is also very fair and very bright. Upon the straits, on the French coast, the light gleams and is gone. He says, the waves, they come with full swing and they come with a message of fullness, but somehow that fullness is something which is not being felt in the mind and the heart. And the light, he says, gleams and is gone, gleaming, and again it ends in a note of despondency that the light is gone. The cliffs of England stand, glimmering and vast. And if we look at the cliffs of England, they are glimmering, they are shining, and they are vast. They are very huge and magnificent. Out in the tranquil bay, in the silent bay, everything seems very peaceful. Come to the window, sweet is the night air. Here he is addressing a partner who is listening to his dialogue. He says, come to the window, sweet is the night air. The night air is very sweet and soothing, very calm and peaceful. Only from the long line of spray where the sea meets the moon-blanched land. And he says, if you look at the land, it looks moon-blanched. It looks as if it is bathing in the moonshine. Listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles which the waves draw back. And listen to the roaring sound of the pebbles, because the huge waves, they come and recede. And as they come and recede, they have the effect on the pebbles which clash with each other. And the sound that they create is a grating roar, very large, huge grating roar. The friction caused by the rubbing or the clashing of the pebbles, and fling at their return up the high strand. And as the waves return, the sound again changes according to the motion of the pebbles. Begin and cease and then again begin. He says, begin and cease, begin and come to an end, and again begin. A symbol of continuity. This is what is the law of nature. A continuity is there. Things begin, come to an end, again begin, again come to an end, and this is how the world moves on, the nature moves on. Everything around us moves on in this particular order, beginning and ending, with tremulous cadence, slow. And here we find that the cadence is very slow. The tone of the whole movement of the environmental factors is very slow and bring the eternal note of sadness in. When I listen to this type of sound, I find that I feel a note of sadness underlining all these movements or all these activities of nature. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. Now he refers to the Greek poet Sophocles. He was a Greek dramatist too. Sophocles, he heard it on the Aegean sand, on the Greek sands. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. When Sophocles heard the same sound, he receded into the long valley of human misery. This is the thought, or this is the sentiment that arose in the mind of Sophocles due to these sounds and actions of nature. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. And when we hear it in the distant northern sea, we find that a particular thought arises into our mind. Now this poem will be continued. This is the first segment of the poem, and the second segment will be continued. For the first segment, let us see the meanings of the words. Calm, peaceful, tranquil, shant. Tide, surge, current or wave. उठती गिरती लहरें, ज्वार भाटे नुमा लहरें. Fair, open minded, reasonable. स्पष्ट व सुलझी हुई. Straits, passages, canals. दो समुद्रों को जोड़ने वाला सकरा जलीय मार्ग. Gleams, glows, shines. चमकता हुआ. Cliffs, precipices. ढालू चट्टानें. कभी कभी चट्टानें लटकती हुई सी होती हैं. नेचर उनको ऐसा ही बना देता है और वो बहुत ही सुंदर लगती हैं देखने में. उनको हम क्लिफ्स कहते हैं, जो खड़ी भी होती हैं, थोड़ी सी ढलान नुमा भी होती हैं. ग्लिमरिंग, शाइनिंग रेडियंटली, चमकीली, चमकती हुई. वास्ट, इनॉर्मस, मैसिव, विशाल. ट्रैंक्विल, पीसफुल, काम, सीरीन, शांत. बे, इनलेट और खाड़ी. मून ब्लैंच्ड लैंड, मेड वाइट बाय मूनलाइट. चांदनी से सफेद रंग का दिखता हुआ, चांदनी में नहाया हुआ. वेरियस, ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स, विभिन्न. ग्रेटिंग, रफ और हार्श, घर्षण ध्वनि करता हुआ. रोर, रंबल, थंडर, डैश विद अ लाउड साउंड, गर्जना करता हुआ. पेबल्स, ग्रेवल्स और शिंगल्स, समुद्र किनारे के कंकड़ पत्थर. बिगिन एंड सीज and then again begin. A symbol of continuity, the continuous process which is the law of nature. निरंतरता का प्रतीक. Tremulous, trembling, full of fear, भययुक्त, भयभीत. Cadence, rhythm और pace, लय. Eternal note of sadness, unending melancholy. मानव जीवन का निरंतर अवसाद. Sophocles, a Greek dramatist, thinker and scholar who is widely mentioned in ancient references. Aegean, Greek, Unani. Turbid, muddled, confused, unclean means मेला या गंदलाया हुआ. Ebb, return of the tide, भाटा. Flow, upsurge of water, ज्वार. Human misery, suffering of human life. Again, मनुष्य के जीवन का अवसाद. Now this poem has a second part too. So to understand the whole poem, you have to read part 1 as well as part 2. Then you will be able to understand what exactly is running through the mind of the poet. So please continue and connect yourself to part 1 and part 2 both together one by one. This is part 1 and the next class is of part 2. So we are moving on to class 2 in the next video. Thank you.